and welcome to Navigating the 9 to 5. My name's Tess. As usual, I'll be your host. So today, first up, happy 1st of September. Today I want to talk to you about that going back to school feeling, about that going back to work feeling, about if you've had kind of monumental Sunday dread last night, thinking about going back to work, then I just wanted to come on today to remind you that this is your body's way of telling you that something isn't right. And I wanted to spend a little bit of time today talking about that, talking into that, and also hopefully giving you, basically sharing my formula to help you kind of take back control and redesign a working life that lights you up, which is all of what we stand for here at Navigating the 9 to 5. So first of all, what is Sunday dread? Call it like Sunday Scaries, Sunday dread, whatever. And obviously yesterday was kind of, for some of us, sort of last day of the summer holidays. We might be sort of coming back from holidays, as I've just said, might be coming back from holidays. We might, children might be at school again today. And there's very much a kind of back to school feeling, back to school vibe. And that can make some of us feel quite nervous, quite sick in our stomachs. Like physically, we can feel that. And often, well, not often, always, I would say, that is basically when we feel nervous in our minds, it actually manifests in our bodies. And that is basically kind of our body's way of telling us that we're not okay, that something isn't okay. And this is related to work. So if you had the major Sunday Scaries last night and kind of, felt really nervous, really worried, really sick, whatever, then, like I said, this is your body telling you something. What's also really important to note here is that actually it could be telling you that you're excited. So what we also sometimes tend to forget is that when we get these kind of physical feelings, it's the excitement feelings that we get are very similar to the anxiety feelings. So my first bit of advice would be just kind of take a little bit of time to sort of think about what those feelings are. Is it an anxiety or is it an excitedness? Because of course, if it's an excitedness, then you're obviously doing something right and don't change anything. And that's great. You're obviously kind of smashing it at work and really excited to get back to it. And that's a really good, really positive thing. So we're obviously not talking to people that are, having those feelings for that reason. What we're talking to is people that have the feelings and they have this kind of sense of dread. And for me, it used to start at sort of 2 o'clock on a Sunday. And it would be much, much worse if I'd had a period of time off work, or if I'd had a period of time where, for example, my senior leadership team was away, as a lot of them were, if they had, if they had children. So they would, be not quite as visible, for example, as they, for August. So obviously a lot of schools are going back, I think, on the 1st, and this is going to feel like a bit of a step change. So if this is you, and if you do feel a certain way, then I'm going to share with you my 6-step formula to help you basically take back control and redesign a working life that lights you up. So step 1 is all about setting great foundations. This is about how we have to look after ourselves on the inside in order to feel good and present ourselves confidently and kind of go and smash it at work. So the first thing you need to do is complete what I've got as a physical health scorecard. So it's not just about sleep and rest and exercise and nutrition. Of course, that is the absolute cornerstone of feeling good and physical health, but also that's the bare minimum. There's also things like your environment, sex and pleasure, the nervous system, all these other stuff, self-love, all these other things that kind of get a bit of a back step, because those 3 cornerstones get most of the publicity. So have a look. I'll put the link in the show notes. Have a look at our physical health scorecard and fill it in and see what that looks like for you, because I also have a load of advice that I've curated from some of my favourite experts that I've studied with to help you improve certain areas. So that's the first thing, setting some great foundations. The second piece is clarity, and this is so, so important. So basically, who are you? What do you love? What are you good at? A lot of the time, the anxiety that we have around work is because we don't feel like we're very good at it. We're a bit worried about what people get. Certainly, this was the case for me. We're a bit worried about kind of, doing a good job and what people are going to say. And the first bit around clarity, which is kind of getting back in touch with who you are, what you love and what you're good at, is all about finding your zone of genius. And this is absolute, well, apart from the physical health, this is the most important kind of next step, because we build and we redesign everything from there. So when I was gunning for a promotion, I realised it was in a space that actually I wasn't very good at. It wasn't my zone of genius. So funny enough, I didn't get the promotion. So if you're nervous because, suddenly it's the 1st of September and very nearly it's going to be the end of the year and you want to get a pay rise, you want to get more money, but you don't know how to do it, then this again is step one for that as well. So find your zone of genius, get back in touch with who you are, what you love, what you're good at. And then we build from there. And there's also a couple of other things in clarity that we look at as well, which is like the type of leader that you want to be, or the pathway that's available to you at the moment, and importantly, what you actually want. Because a lot of people sort of come into work and they suddenly find themselves on this like conveyor belt of work where they're sort of pushed into a role that's available perhaps in the company at the time, or they're pushed into sort of progressing to the next level, and they haven't actually taken the time to think about what they want. This was absolutely true for me. So I was kind of gunning for a promotion because I was really ambitious. I wanted to kind of get ahead, move my way up the ladder and become like director of something or head of or whatever, because that felt really good to me for all the wrong reasons, which I'm sure I've covered in a different episode and I will definitely go into more so another time. But yeah, if you want to get a promotion, I've totally lost my train of thought now. Where was I? Oh yes, what you want. So the important part of it is that when I was gunning for this promotion, I was really lucky to be able to work with a coach in the meantime. And she said to me, do you even want this promotion? And what she made me realise is that every time I spoke about that promotion, it was in really negative language. And the reality is that no, I did not ever actually want that promotion. Like I said, it wasn't in my zone of genius. And between my coach and a really good manager, they actually empowered me to realise that I have a choice. So you have a choice. If you're not happy at work, you have a choice. But let's take the time now to get really clear on why it is that you're not happy at work, or what it is that you actually want at work that it isn't at the moment. It might be that you want flexibility. It might be that you want security, blah, blah. It might be that you want to get promoted. Whatever it is, let's just get clear on what that is. So what do you want? That's all about clarity. Step 3 is mindset. So this is where we do all the good stuff. This is where we conquer our mindset. We take responsibility. We stop blaming other people for things that are going wrong in our lives. We actually kind of look within, and we look at what it is that we could do differently to get to where we want to be, rather than blaming other people. So that's the first part of mindset. The second part is all about creating a growth mindset, which I'm sure you've heard about time and time again. But even I say that like I'm some sort of like growth genius or whatever, but I naturally actually have a really positive mindset, a really kind of positive growth mindset. But even I find myself, and I practice this regularly, kind of falling into traps of like negative language, of blaming other things, other scenarios, or other people as to why I'm not where I want to be. So if that's you, it's time to, so first of all, identify your limiting beliefs. They start with something like, I can't do something because of something. And then you reframe it using the word how. So things like, I can't get promoted at work because my manager's a dick, or I can't get promoted at work because I don't know what to do, or whatever it is. And then you just put the word how at the beginning of that sentence and just say, how do I get promoted at work? And that is a massive game changer. Or how do I do whatever the limiting belief is? It also works for any limiting belief that you have, whether it's work related or not. So that's mindset. The third and final piece of mindset, which is one of my favorite pieces, is shifting your identity, shifting your paradigm. Your paradigm is kind of your approach, your attitudes, all that sort of thing that you have at the moment. If we want to kind of step up at work, or if we want to step up into a different stage or phase of life in our personal life, we have to kind of create the identity and sort of step into that identity now of what that person is, or who that person is. And we do that using the work of the brilliant Dr. Benjamin Hardy, where he talks about identity being the place at which that is made up, of our the story we tell ourselves and the standards that we accept. So we need to look at how we speak to ourselves internally, the language that we use, but also the boundaries and things that we put in place. And there's a load of really cool stuff that we do there in order to shift your paradigm and basically collapse time to become your future self now, which is one of my favourite phrases because it's so cool, the stuff that we do there. And it works. It absolutely really, really works. There's loads of hacks and things that we do. The fourth piece is all about leadership capabilities. So if you want to get promoted at work, every single bit of training and stuff that I did at work was around kind of learning how to sort of negotiate properly and all that sort of stuff, or like the art of negotiation or communication or whatever. What else was it? Delegation, all that sort of stuff. But if when you do the clarity piece, it turns out that you want to get promoted at work or change your role or do whatever it is, just do things differently or step into leadership, then there are actually I think there are sort of three main things that we need to look at from a work point of view. The first one is thinking. It's all about making time for thinking. The second one is strategy. So that's all about how you achieve your objectives. And then the third piece is around people. So if you want to step into leadership, if you're feeling sick about going back to work because you're really frustrated about a situation that is happening for you at the moment whereby you're not progressing as much as you want to, or it feels like someone's holding you back, or you haven't got clarity or whatever, this is where those three skills are really, really important to do. In my formula, the next part 5, is make it happen. So if you want to get promoted at work, or if you want to make a change even, this is where we bring in things like a visibility strategy. So if you want to get more money at work, then you need to be doing things like you need to be visible for the right work, to the right people, in the right way, in a kind of an appropriate space. And again, we teach you how to do that. So yeah, there could be loads of reasons that you're feeling unhappy at work. And basically, between kind of taking responsibility and cultivating that growth mindset and making it happen, you deciding today that you can make a change, because you and only you are able to make this change. This is really, really important. If you're unhappy at work, like I said, if you had that feeling of dread yesterday, this is your body telling you that you're not happy. But also, this is what I'm trying to do here, is like remind you that this can change. You can change this. And I'm kind of giving you a formula that I've used to make the changes. And the sixth and final piece is around amplifying it all with a sprinkle of magic. So it's all about taking aligned action. So you've done the piece around clarity, you know where you want to get to, you've had to think about, you've kind of conquered your mindset. Now we're thinking about the strategy of how we get there. And one of the best things that we can do is leverage the power of spiritual principles to help you to get there. So we amplify the hell out of it with like a feng shui practice. So for example, for feng shui, I think it's the north part of your home is for career and life's journey, it's called. So stand in the middle of your home, put your phone flat on your palm of your hand, open the compass app and walk as far as you can in the direction of north. And that is, like I said, that's your career, life's journey, part of your home. And what you might happen if you're feeling a bit frustrated at work at the moment is that what you might find is that area of your home is kind of it's sort of a cupboard that's like a nothing area. It's got loads of shit all over it, loads of stuff in it. It's the sort of space that you use when you don't know where to put stuff. And actually, this isn't going to happen. This isn't going to help our us stepping into this new level, this next level, or kind of taking back control. And if it's particularly the space of career that you want to look at, then it's really important that we kind of intentionally clean this area. So what you want to do is you want to kind of have a look at all the stuff that's there. You want to clear it out, you want to clean it, and then put something there that represents where you want to be in your career. So it might be that you want to start your own business. So what can you do that's sort of related to that you can put there? It might be that you want to get promoted at work. What is it that's related to that you can put there? It might be that you want to earn more money. What is it that's related to that you can put there? They even have these like blank checks and things that you can get, that you could print out, that you could put in that space as though you have got that promotion, that more money kind of thing. But all of this ties back to the feeling that we had probably yesterday with this kind of mother of all back to school, back to work kind of feelings. So if you felt any kind of way yesterday, if you felt nervous, you felt this kind of dread bubbling up about work, and perhaps you're the kind of person that has this all the time. It's every time that, every Sunday maybe you feel like this. Like I said, listen to what your body is trying to tell you. And the best way to find out about it is to journal about it. And I know it's all like, oh my God, I haven't got time for that. But actually, you say you haven't got time to journal. all it takes probably is like 5 or 10 minutes for you to actually uncover what it is that you're feeling. It's just like a free journaling, being like, what is that feeling that's in my stomach? What is it that I'm feeling nervous about? Or am I, like I said, am I feeling excited about something? Am I really like actually confusing what this physical sort of manifestation of this emotion or this feeling is? And go deep, but you don't have to spend very long to do it. Probably, like I said, 5 or 10 minutes would be enough to help you to understand actually what it is that's going on for you. And then once you've done that, we can then go through the motions, go through the 6-step formula to take back control and redesign a working life that lights you up. Because this is our absolute mission. I want to show everybody how to love what they do. And the way you do that is through this 6-step process. So, like I said, I can't stop saying like I said now. I've said that so many times. The point being, if you felt a certain kind of way yesterday, it's trying to tell you something. So listen to it and see what comes up. Okay, thank you so much for listening to that. I hope you found that useful. Should I just do a quick reminder of what that 6-step formula is? So if you felt weird at work yesterday, journal about what you think those feelings are, and then follow my 6-step formula. So number 1, set some great foundations by revisiting and looking at your physical health, much more than just nutrition, movement and sleep. Have a look at the physical health scorecard, get it back in touch with it. 2, find clarity. Clarity is all about what you want, who you are, what you're good at, finding your zone of genius. 3, conquer your mindset. It's all about growth mindset so that you take responsibility. 4, leadership capabilities. If you're wanting to kind of step into leadership, remember thinking, strategy and people. 5, make it happen. So this is about kind of visibility strategies. This is more about kind of being in the company, in the trying to sort of step up in the corporate world if you want to kind of get the recognition you deserve, get rewarded, get pay rise, all that sort of stuff. And then 6, and finally, amplify it all with a sprinkle of magic, and that's where the good stuff happens. Also really good, by the way, is gratitude. And loads of other stuff, so many other things. So if you found that useful, if you're interested in a bit more information about what that 6-step framework is, I am sharing a free 30-day coaching program and we start mid-September. So that's where I take you through this 6-step process. Every single day I send you a bit of information about what we're talking about and a hack for you to do that day. It's 30 days and it genuinely will change your life. So if that sounds interesting, drop me a message to Tess at lightmeup.club or click the link below to find out more. Thank you so much for being here. And yeah, hopefully I'll see you next time. If you enjoyed this episode, I always forget to say this. If you enjoyed this episode, please like, subscribe, give us a follow, whatever it is, whatever platform you're looking at and watching this on or listening to this to. Please, like, subscribe, follow. That will really help me out. So yeah, hope you enjoyed that and hopefully I'll see you next time. Thanks so much. Bye.